This is the Four-Man Rush. Hello, Panther fans, and welcome to another podcast of the Four-Man Rush. I'm your host, Timmy V.O., here with Kevin and Will, and we're talking about some live action, folks. It is football time. It's ready. It's time. Let's go. Let's go. Helmets, pads, we're going to make them clap, Jack. Let's go. We got a new squad, new coach, going to be playing a new team in Vegas, locale-wise. And quite frankly, folks, we're going to tell you everything you need to know about what's going to go down in old Vegas. We got some new faces on the defense. We're going to give you a quick rundown on the starters on the defensive side of the football. And then we're going to get into a pregame breakdown of the Vegas Raiders versus the Carolina Panthers. And some other little tidbits in there about the Carolina Panther organization and new acquisitions and things of that nature. So this is going to be a pretty straightforward podcast. And shoot, folks, it's football time. Yeah, people thought that COVID was going to choke the life out of the NFL, and they said, hell no, not today. We're playing some football. And it's Carolina Panther football on top of that. Oh, man, that's a win-win, Jack. All right, so, ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your hats. The Four-Man Rush podcast is on station. So, Kevin, we'll start off with you, man. I guess we'll do a quick rundown of the defensive starters, and then we'll transition over to the Vegas pregame breakdown. Excuse me, and talk about that. Yeah. So, Kev, we'll start. I guess we'll start with the front, DTs and DNs. And we'll switch to linebackers with you, Will, and talk about this guys. Both of you guys will talk about the secondary because it's a lot to talk about with that. So, hey, let's get started, man. Kev, how you liking this defensive front, man? And boy, there's some there's some thoroughbreds on that front, boy.
Yeah, man, I'm definitely excited about this revamped, refurbished, revitalized defensive line because after what we saw the last couple of years in the trenches, this was a makeover that was needed like no other, and I'm definitely glad that the moves that was made, the players we was able to acquire not only in free agency and draft, but players that we're getting back as well. For me, it all starts on the front with the captain of the group per se, Mr. Kawan Short, Mr. KK, coming back from a torn shoulder injury. And honestly, I was one of the first ones to say that might have given him the break that he needed to get that second win in the second part of the prime of his career. He's pretty much been playing a starter significant rep since he was drafted as a rookie in 2013. So, went hard for 6 years, had a year off, and, nothing like the newness of a new coach, new system, new style to, get them legs up under you. So we definitely look forward to seeing how he's going to perform here. But definitely, if he can get back to his anywhere from 2015 to 2017 performance, folks, it's going to be a long day for opposing offensive lines because I would say I'm gonna go out and far and say he probably has the best alignment, a best assortment of partners on defensive line that he's ever had in his career. So this year, the 2020 Carolina Panthers, it's pretty much gonna be pick your poison. When we roll out because I don't want to brag too much, but my bromance crush that I had it since October, we ended up drafting him. That would be the number one, Mr. Darren Brown out of Auburn, University of Auburn. So I'm definitely stoked about him. Will was one of the first ones to bring it to the attention, and then I saw enough on film, and I like watching SEC football anyway, but he definitely was a reason to tune in and and to watch. And I'm just excited that he was the guy that we drafted. I was scared draft night. I'm not even gonna lie. I thought maybe Detroit was gonna get him. I thought maybe Gettleman might swoop in. But once he got past them, I wasn't worried about Miami or the Chargers. I knew we was about to cash that check. So, the combination of Derrick Brown and Kawan Short in the middle of our defensive line, it gives me a lot of reason to be optimistic of all those runs up the middle. Them days gonna be no more, in my opinion. Now, flanking them on the outside, I like what we got. We got the the first round pick in 2019 coming back, Mr. Brian Burns. And he's coming back, a little bit more chiseled, a little bit more muscle. He's made his point the last 2 off seasons to add at least 15 pounds, because when he was at Florida State, he was playing around 225. So when we drafted him, he became a rookie last year. He put on 15 pounds and got up to 240. And this past off season, he put on another 15 pounds. Now he's up to about 255. But this is good healthy weight. With the NFL, way they do the food and weightlifting. And Tim, with this being your profession, you would know all about the proper ways to effectively for a player to gain weight, gain muscle mass, and things like that. To do it on the levels of the access of the NFL. I'm sure this is good healthy weight. I don't see him being slowed down by gaining this 30 pounds in the last 2 seasons. So, man, he just got that frame that's needed. And if he can learn how to do a little bit better against the run, because we know what he can do against the pass.
Oh, man.
We already know that.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that he don't have to worry about playing special teams no more, that's even better.
The hell, Rivera.
Yeah. Right. And then on the other side, we got a rookie. We got a second rookie on the defensive line, but this rookie I think is capable of holding his own. Mr. Util Gross-Matos out of Penn State, 2nd round pick, considered a steal by many because many draft experts had him as a mid to late 1st round pick. So for us to get him in the 2nd round, that's definitely some value. We're talking about someone that's 6'5", I think he's coming in around about 265, 270 himself.
Yep.
So he definitely has a frame on him, the prototypical, DN type frame. I just like the fact that he was 2nd among Power 5 conferences in tackles for loss. And, of course, our own other rookie, Derrick Brown, was number 1. So we got the number 1 and number 2 in tackles for loss the last 2 years in college football, now starting on our defensive line. Now, I know some of y'all going to be like, but that's college football. Yeah, but making plays is making plays on any level.
Right on.
So, hey, it is what it is. As far as depth along the defensive line, I think we got much better depth than we've had in a long time as well, especially with a good solid rotation. I love the fact that defense coordinator Phil Snow loves to rotate his players. So, it won't be just the same players dominating the reps. Start again with a defensive tackle. We got Braveon Roy, another rookie, a Baylor product as well, coming in. And if I'm not mistaken, he was 5th in tackle for losses. So that's why I said to him, all that running up the middle, I think them days is over, bro.
Done.
Done. The 4-man rush, we'll check the metrics that's out there that show how much runs up the middle throughout the season. We'll definitely let you folks know how we are going to put a stranglehold on that. Also, another guy that can play D tackle but also can play DN is a free agent. I think his name is Zach Kerr. He's someone that had a really good training camp. I like the fact that, he got that position flexibility, can play inside, outside, and still be effective. And finally, as the defense ends, we got Stephen Weatherly, the free agent pickup acquisition out of Minnesota, who a lot of Minnesota Viking fans hated to see leave. They felt like he was someone that was up and coming, but sit behind 2 Pro Bowlers at defensive end. He just got limited reps, so he's definitely going to be in the mix with that as well. And then we have our own coming back, Marquis Haynes, F.A. Obata. So, and I think the new guy that we just picked up off waivers, I can't think of his name right now, but I'll figure it out later. But overall, our defensive line, Yeah, I think that I think things gonna be looking a lot different than what we've seen the last 2 years in a good way. And as we all know, it always starts up front. It always starts in the trenches. But I think that we finally had the tools in the trenches to really get the job done. Now it's gonna take some time. It's gonna take some growing pains, but you're gonna see that steady, slow but steady progression week by week with the play in the trenches, especially on the defensive line side. And I'm looking forward to it.
Amen. Oh, buddy. Oh, boy. The A gap is no more, ladies and gentlemen. I repeat, the A gap is closed. The A gap, hell, the B gap might be closed too. Because we're going to talk about them linebackers right now. Yeah, Will. What's up? What's up? This linebacker core, man. I mean, we know them guys are going to be moving the gaps around up front, man. Them linebackers should be flying around and just smacking people in the damn teeth.
Yeah, just the guy we got from Philadelphia is Sharif Miller. He was actually Yatura Gross-Matos' teammate and an opposite defensive end at Penn State.
Shit.
And then we got so that's a nice reunion there at the defensive end position.
Yeah.
But at linebacker, we got the Mike backer this year is going to be Tahir Whitehead. And, I mean, don't think of him as a Luke Kuechly replacement. Luke's in his own league. You know, there's never going to be another Luke Kuechly. So Tahir just got to come in here and be the best Tahir Whitehead he can be. I mean, he's got experience. He's very stout against the run. He's a hard hitter. He has plays with a high level of energy. He struggles a bit in pass coverage, which may be a bit of a concern. But overall, I think it's a good pickup. He played for Matt Rule and Phil Snow at Temple. So, actually, no, he did not. I can't remember what year. He might have left Temple, but he used to come back to the school and speak while Matt Rule was the coach there.
Oh, man.
Can't remember completely, but they did have a previous relationship before he bought him here at Carolina to be his Mike backer. So, you know, that's where it's all going to start. You know, at the wheel, we're going to have Shaq Thompson. You know, he's got it fresh off a new contract, coming off one of his better years last year. But now with Luke out of the picture, it's time for him to prosper and be his own guy now. And I think he's up for the challenge. They paid him like a top-tier linebacker, so you know, we'll see how he goes there. He was struggling in training camp with a groin injury, I believe, but I think he's back at practice this week, and he's all ready to go Sunday. So I'm looking forward. You know, I want to finally see Shaq Thompson break out. I like his skill set. He's a very versatile. He can cover. He's good in coverage. He can blitz off the edge. Good blitzer. He's a good pass rusher. Good against the run. We just want to see it all come together for him this year and finally see that first-round pick that we've been looking forward to seeing for all these years. At the Sam linebacker, now this is where it gets interesting because of how Phil Snow's scheme works. Don't look at it as really a 3-4, 4-3 or anything like that. You're going to have pretty much a nickel Sam. So think of it like a big nickel where you're going to have a guy there that's more stout against the run than a smaller cornerback would be. But he's better in coverage, you know, to match up with tight ends, backs, and receivers than maybe a traditional Sam linebacker would be. So you need kind of that hybrid player that has the athletic profile to be versatile and do all of those things. And right now, that's going to be rookie Jeremy Chen, who's going to be kind of a safety linebacker hybrid that can allow us to have those matchups and that flexibility at that position. But the way the depth chart is set up now, it's kind of a 1A and 1B type deal. You're going to have Jeremy Chen as nickel Sam and probably Jermaine Carter as your Sam linebacker. So maybe if you're in an obvious rundown or a team comes out in 12 personnel or heavy formation, you want a little bit more meat out there, you'll probably sub Chen out and put Jermaine Carter in there just to get that better run support. Or if a team comes out in, let's say, 10 or 11 personnel, but probably more so 10 personnel, then you can have a pure nickel and bring in one of your third corners, which we'll talk about in a minute. So that's the kind of flexibility he's going to have with these base defense and sub packages. I think Chen was trying to see the majority of the reps there as that nickel Sam. You're going to see Jermaine Carter and a more pure cover corner rotate with him depending on the personnel package that the offense comes out with. Now, behind them, as far as depth goes, we got a Darius Taylor who had a very good camp. So he's going to be the backup to Tahir Whitehead. They got Julian Stanford out of Buffalo, who they really like as well. And that's what 1, 2, 3, 4. Who else did they sign?
Oh,
I think I got them all.
I think so.
But as far as Darius Taylor, what Matt Rule said about him was just the high energy level. He was playing with it every practice. And what's interesting is you see him earn that black jersey as a starter. So I think he'll also get some of those reps behind Jermaine Carter as well. And nope, those are all the linebackers that made the team. We're carrying 4 linebackers, and Jeremy Chen is kind of your nickel Sam.
Yeah. And he provides a level of versatility, man, that's unique for the Panther franchise, I think. We've never had a nickel that size. His wingspan. I mean, what is 6'4", 2 something? I mean, good gosh, people. Whew. And I don't know if you guys have been watching those clips on the Panther webpage from practice and things like that, but Chen be laying the wood to people, folks. Wow. Watch out now. All right, speaking of safeties and secondary personnel, let's jump on them corners, man. We know we got D-Jack. Who else has been wearing the black jerseys in practice, Kev?
Well, as far as the cornerbacks go, took a little. Well, depends on how you look at it. I'm gonna call it a blow because he was coming here expected to compete to get reps. Eli Apple was put on the reserve injured list, so he won't be eligible to come back until at least week 3 is when he'll be eligible to return. You know, pretty much battling a combination of, I think it was ankle injury and a couple other nicks, so they just want to give him time to get his body right. So that allowed another rookie to come up into the scene. You know, our Jadarius' favorite boy, Troy Pryor Jr.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Jadarius, love that guy.
Yeah, make sure we tag him on this portion specifically because I said that. But so him and Dante Jackson are looking like, as of right now, assumably going to be the outside cornerbacks whenever we trot out on the field. Likely it's going to be nickel because a majority of the NFL now is, pretty much 11 personnel, three wide coming out. So nickel is pretty much the new base right now, with it being, with defenses playing, nickel sub packaging at least 60, 70% of the game now. So definitely it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Also, someone that seems to resurrect from the dead, just like Jason Voorhees does. We got Corn Elder, who done finally turned his head around, made it back here to Carolina.
Lord have mercy.
And then got back in the mix of things. So
cornbread.
Corn, yeah. So, we gave him a hard time about not turning his head around against that game in Seattle in 2018, and rightfully so. But, just think about it. He's really a nickel. He's really a nickel guy that was forced in to play outside, and Russell Wilson see that he gonna target you all day long. So it is what it is.
It is.
Let's see what he's learned from that experience, because I'm sure he's heard all the jokes and everything about that. Another guy that was picked up, I believe, off waivers was Rasul Douglas, and I'm gonna be honest, with the limited amount of clips and film that I've seen that he played with the Eagles, I'm thinking that once he get acclimated with us for a few weeks, I think he could be someone that could really be in the rotation with reps and could push, to get some quality time with the team. I know on the Twitter feed that was put out that he pretty much was 1-on-1 without safety help against Julio Jones and held his own outside of one play where they was able to get an extra blocker on him for a screen play that Julio broke for a touchdown. But the 5 or 6 plays before that was showing his reps, he was right in his hip pocket, stayed with him stride for stride. And, Carolina fans know, we've been struggling trying to keep up with Julio Jones
for a while.
Ever since he dropped that dreaded 300 on us in 2016.
Yeah, J-No.
And I was in Atlanta for that game and drunk myself heavily afterwards. But anyway, But yeah, so and then finally we got the 7th round pick rounding out the cornerbacks here. Stanley Thomas Oliver III. I like this kid. I think he's gonna need some time. Might be a couple of years, but he definitely has the tools that it's going to take to make plays. Primarily, he's going to see a lot more reps on special teams, and he admitted that as much with his recent presser that he has. But hey, you on the 53 and you're going to be starting. You're going to get it. So hats off to you. Not many 7th round picks can say that.
No.
Several teams got their 7th round picks, on the practice squad, and you're on the 53. So it's definitely good to see him have a chance. We're talking about somebody that started out as a receiver and converted to cornerback while in college. So he's still raw. He's still learning. But, with the coaching that we got and the position coach that he has, like I say, just give him a couple of years, and I think we're really going to see something with this kid. But for now, primarily special teams. Who knows? He might get some spot reps in certain packages because he definitely has the ability to get his hands on the ball. So it's going to be interesting watching him play over the next couple of years. So that's my assessment of the cornerbacks that we have. I know it's probably the most position that's got the fans feeling like it's going to be probably the biggest weakness of the defense. Mm-hmm. And I'm already expecting growing pains heavily. But once we get through them growing pains, I think that we're going to be just fine. But we got to go through it. And no, they're not going to get cut after a bad game. So let me go ahead and just dead y'all on that right now.
All these Madden fans.
Yeah, but yeah, that's all I got for you for is what I see on the cornerbacks for you, Tim.
Right on. Good breakdown, man. Will, let's look at them heavy hitters, them SS and the FSs. Strong safety, free safety. What's good?
It was when the free safety, it's no surprise who's there. I mean, that's Trey Boston.
Yes, sir.
Signed a new contract extension, and it's just such an underrated player.
He is.
I mean, he consistently ranks as one of the best cover safeties in the league. I mean, he's up there with the best of them year after year, and just never gets the recognition he deserves. So I think we're pretty solid at free safety spot with Trey. It's one of the positions I'm most comfortable about on this defense, probably. A strong safety, you're going to have Justin Burris. He played at Cleveland for a few years, and he's a very, I think because Cleveland's not on TV a lot, he's probably not a big name that everybody wants, but, I mean, he could play, man. I mean, he's had an outstanding training camp. He's the vocal leader of that defense. He has the ability to play strong safety. He can cover in the slot, so they can move him around as well. He has that similar flexibility that Jeremy Chen has. So, I mean, I think this could be a potential under-the-radar type baller that we have at that safety spot. But what I'm fascinated at the safety position is the depth. I mean, behind Trey Boston on the depth chart is, guess who? Jeremy Chen again. So what do we know? Jeremy Chen's your nickel Sam. He's your outside linebacker. Now he's also your backup free safety. So look at the skill set that his kid has. I mean, they're going to put a lot on his plate in year one. He's just going to be all over the field trying to make plays. Backup strong safety, though, was, I think, our first roster surprise. Guess what? Surprise, surprise, another rookie, Sam Franklin out of Temple. Matt Rule recruited Sam, but he didn't get to coach him. He took the Baylor job before he got to – he coached him his first year at Temple. He didn't play much that year. But then Matt Rule left his sophomore year for Baylor, and he played under another coach for his next three. Guys like Sam Franklin, I think they're great stories this year because if you recall, because of the COVID situation, all the pro days were canceled. So these guys that aren't at these big Power 5 conferences and didn't get Senior Bowl and Combine invites, they didn't have a pro day to show off their talents and maybe go from an undrafted free agent to maybe a 5th, 6th, or 7th round pick. So guys like Sam were at a significant disadvantage heading into draft day, and there was so much uncertainty on whether they would get picked up, and then they're not going to have an OTA and minicamp to prove yourself in front of the coaches. So you pretty much had the month of August to really show the coaches what they can do on the field. And Sam Franklin stood out because we had a 5th round pick that didn't make the roster, Kenny Robinson, because when Franklin was making more plays on the ball, playing with a high level of energy, contributes on special teams. And that's what you see at his tape on Temple as well. He has that similar skill set to Jeremy Chen has, where he can play in the box is kind of that big nickel Sam type player. He can play strong safety, free safety. Mm-hmm. I mean, he can cover he's 6'3", 210, so he can probably put some weight on. He's the next couple of years get up to 220 before, he becomes more of starts competing for starting roles on the defense. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, it's just another versatile, outstanding athlete that Rule was able to find. And I think the familiarity helped. Just to be able to overcome everything this offseason and be able to land on the 53 roster, I think that's an accomplishment in itself. So at free, so there's one more safety. So we got Trey Boston, Justin Burris, and Jeremy Chen also as the second string safety. Sam Franklin as your backup strong safety. Also on the depth chart, guess what? Another rookie. This is Miles Hartsfield out of Ole Miss. Now, Hartsfield, another great story. He was one of the best college running backs you'll ever see. Well, not college, high school running backs, you'll ever see. You'll just watch his high school running back tape. I mean, it's just amazing the kind of athlete this guy is. At Ole Miss, he gets converted to defensive back. The reason I say defensive back is because he plays all the spots. I mean, he's played outside, boundary corner, outside corner, nickel, both safety positions in the box or deep free safety. So just the versatility and athleticism that this kid has just landed him a roster spot. If you look at training camp, Hartsfield got reps as running back in the scrimmage and scored a touchdown. Then he turned around, played defense, and got an interception, all in the same scrimmage.
Wow.
So, I mean, and then again, another guy that didn't get to have a pro day, didn't get invited to the combine and all of that, so he couldn't show off his talents and athleticism in front of scouts. So another roster long shot, was able to make it. I just think because of the performance of Sam Franklin and Miles Hartsfield, unfortunately our 5th round pick, Kenny Robinson, who I also like, don't get me wrong, but he just didn't have enough room for him on the 53-man roster. So they waived Kenny and brought him back on the practice squad. So we'll have time to develop and take his time before he gets brought up and tries to contribute. But, man, you just look at, as we're going through this roster, all these rookies, I think we counted Gross Matos, Brown, Chen, Troy Pride, Sam Franklin, Miles Hartsfield. I mean, that's 6 rookie players on defense that are going to see significant actions. And then Kerr's got Braveon Roy, another guy that's going to rotate in and out. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's 7 rookie players that are going to see significant reps this year. So, that's something I'm excited about that. It'll be interesting to see how these guys adjust to the program. And we need them to play well and play with discipline, play with energy, and make some plays for us. So that's what I'm excited about this year with this defense.
No doubt, man. Yeah, it's gonna be significant, folks. Now, folks. I mean, again, these guys are young. They're gonna make mistakes. It's the NFL, folks. You got these coordinators, just coming up with all kind of designs and things of that nature to get these young players to look one way when the ball's going the other way and things of that nature. So they're gonna fly around and make mistakes, but they're gonna be flying around. You best believe that. These guys are coming in hot and fast. I dare say potentially this is probably going to be a pretty good defense to stop the run. That's for darn sure. And if you're in 3rd and long, think you're going to have time to step up in that pocket on a seven-step drop. Shit. Boy, you're going to have Mount Rushmore coming right up the pike, Jack. Boy, speaking of which, man, hey, so Vegas Raiders, did they pick up Mariota?
Yeah, he's on IR, so we're going to be seeing Derek Carr.
Derek Carr? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go ahead and talk about this Vegas Carolina matchup. Kev, I guess you want to touch briefly on the Raiders in terms of what they got coming at us, and Will, I guess you can jump in and tell us what you think the Panthers are going to do to counter that. Go ahead, Kev. Take it away.
Yeah, so we're talking about the brand new / old Las Vegas Raiders, formerly of Oakland. This game is definitely something that not only because it's the first game of the season, but I'm gonna be able to have some fun with it. Family wise, because my daughter's mom, she's a Oakland fan. She grew up in Oakland. So, she already been popping her gums a little bit. I told her put a jersey up on it or leave me alone. So, But anyway, look at this team. You got a team that made some good improvements. They went from 4-12 to 7-9. Okay. They actually was in the playoff picture, but they lost 5 of their last 6 games. So that kind of took them out the mix. So, for a good part of the season last year, they was playing well and they was playing in contention. So, that's just how it is. But, we got Chucky, aka John Gruden, back at the hand for the third year, back with his second stint with the Raiders. And if you know anything about him, he loves himself some quarterbacks. He got Derek Carr, had Mariota, but he's on IR. Not sure who the backup quarterback is. But for this game, I anticipate, seeing a lot of second-year running back Josh Jacobs, who was, I think, the top running back selected in the 2019 draft. Last year, just as a rookie, he had 1,150 yards and 7 touchdowns. Yeah. And he had about, nearly 90 yards a game. So this kid is definitely no slouch. Okay. So he's someone that's definitely going to be someone to look out for on offense. Matter of fact, I would say that's the main primary is to get it because, what teams like to do on the road, establish the run, establish tempo, and try to take you out your element. So, wouldn't be surprised to see a heavy dosage of Josh Jacobs early and often with the Raiders here. Someone that I really didn't know much about and picked him up in fantasy and ended up becoming a huge playmaker is their tight end, Darren Waller. He posted a career high 1,145 receiving yards, which was second among all NFL tight ends. Think about it now.
Wow.
Second in yardage in tight ends. We're talking about what? Kels, Kittle. I mean, the tight end up in Baltimore, Andrews. We're talking about a guy that was, that was right up there in the mix with all of them. Second. So we definitely, our linebackers and safeties, they definitely going to have to definitely pay attention to this guy. So, they got some weapons, that you're going to look out for. I believe they drafted out of South Carolina a wide receiver. I think it's Edwards, the wide receiver. I think it was a Brian or Braylon Edwards. I can't think of which one, but he's the wide receiver out of South Carolina. Even though he's a rookie, but he's suspected to see significant snaps with him as well. So this definitely won't be no easy game by no means. As we all know, no game in the NFL is easy. I've heard and seen several Panther fans think, it's just the Raiders. We got this in the bag. No.
Okay.
Let's not forget about that game back in 2016, Tim, when we went out to Oakland and it was back and forth, but just too many mistakes to overcome. Back then when they had Khalil Mack, he strip sacked Cam right before halftime. They got the touchdown and the BS. Yeah, man. Tobor letting that cornerback stop him on 3rd and short.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Man, bruh. So, Jesus. So we owe the Raiders for that one. So for sure. That's gonna be interesting to see. Far as on the that's the offensive side, of it. I'll let Will, he can speak on the defensive side because they got some defensive playmakers. But overall, this is gonna be a good challenge for us. I mean, it's the first game in the Matt Rule era, and I definitely think that in spite of not having a crowd there, which a lot of teams are going to have to start off with, this would be a good chance for us to have a position to go 1-0. So it'll be something to look forward to. Because if I'm not mistaken, no Carolina Panther head coach ever won his first game. So this would be something that would that could potentially be something that we've never seen before.
Wow.
So so that's all I got as far as the Raiders from an offensive point of view.
Right on. Well, Will, how we gonna counter this, man? How we gonna stop that run and And that tight end, that's definitely going to be a problem.
Yeah, I mean, with the run, it all starts up front. I just want to see better gap discipline. I mean, that's going to come with KK, Derek Brown, rotational guys. Edge set need to set the block. Defensive ends need to set the edge. Linebackers need to do their jobs and fill gaps. And we just got to, that's going to be the key this week. If they have a very good interior offensive line. I mean, Incognito's still there. Mm-hmm. Who's a veteran guard who's, down and dirty, plays solid every year. They got a great center. So, Derek Brown and KK are going to have a tough draw this week dealing with that Raiders front. They got they're a lot like us. They have two rookies starting at receiver, Brian Edwards, who's more of a big target, and Henry Ruggs, who's a 4.2 speedster. So, I can expect maybe we're going to see Dante Jackson shadow Henry Ruggs. He typically does well against speed receivers more so than the quick, shifty guys like Calvin Ridley. So that may be something right up his alley where he can have some success there. They got Hunter Renfrow, more of that slot receiver guy, who's, I think Derek Carr is one of his few remaining receiving targets. So, we'll see how they adjust. Derek Carr's got basically a new receiving arsenal compared to last year. Mm-hmm. Tyrell Williams, their wide receiver who had 600 yards and 600 yards and 6 touchdowns, is on IR for this season, so he won't be playing. So they're going to have to rely on rookie receivers, or we're going to be relying on rookies on defense. But I think it all starts with stopping the run. Josh Jacobs is a guy who I think could potentially lead the NFL in rushing yards this year.
Wow.
And they know what our rush defense was last year. I think they're going to try to come out, set the tone, and try to see what these Gross Matos and Derek Brown and these young guys are made of. So that's what I'm be looking out for. I want to be able to stop the run, contain Josh Jacobs. I think Jeremy Chen, the reason we got him is to match up with guys like Darren Waller. So I think Chen's size and athleticism can make that a good matchup for him. But he's not going to be easy, though. He's got his work cut out for him. He's a tough draw, especially for his first game. But that's the reason why we got him to do for matchup purposes like that. But overall, I just think it starts with stopping the run, put the ball in Carr's hands, make them beat us, get after them, get pressure on them, and try to make some plays out there.
Right on, man. Right on. Dig it, folks. Dig it. Now, obviously, I think we probably are stronger on the offensive side of the football. Kev, how do you think we're gonna attack this Vegas defense?
Yeah, well, with this Vegas defense, I think the formula is going to have to be old school football, to be honest. Hit them up in the middle. I feel like their defensive tackle, middle linebacker area is the area that we can target, particularly in the run game, because on the edge they got some talent. Last year the number 4 overall pick, Cleveland Fairweather out of Clemson, him and another guy named Max Crosby, they together as rookies last year, they had combined 15 sacks. So, our tackles are definitely going to have their hands full. Like I say, folks, this is not going to be some walk in the park game. So if you're thinking that, you set yourself up to be potentially disappointed. So on the edges, pass rush situation is definitely where their defense can turn to its strength. But as far as attacking them, this would be a good game for Matt Paradis to redeem himself tremendously. I feel like there's opportunities with our interior. Now, obviously, we're breaking in 2 new guards as well. And with Dennis Daly considered day-to-day with the ankle, we're not sure who the who might potentially be getting his snaps, but we know that John Miller, the free agent right guard that we picked up out of, I think he was out of Cincinnati from last year, who is prototypical of the type of attitude that Matt Rule said he loves about his players. So yeah, that's where I see the advantage going on offense to really get after this Vegas defense. This is good. This would be a good time to just go old school back to his Temple days. We're gonna get lined up, 1 tight end, 2 tight end, get my boy Armageddon in the backfield, and just punch some people in the mouth. Establish a tone. This is a game where I get all the hype of all the speed and the wide receivers, but this could turn into old slobber knobber too. With both teams because the Raiders want to establish a run because they're on the road. Based on typical protocol for teams, and as the Panthers go. It's all about establishing an attitude. We're not going to be punked. We're not going to be just ran over and did like we've been done the last 2 years. So, I can see this a game where it's going to be a lot of collision in the trenches, and me and Larry, we can't wait to break down the trench game after this one because it's going to definitely be a lot of battles there. But yeah, that's where I see the advantage being is just line up, punch them in the mouth repeatedly and constantly, and get that play action going. Because, they see Bridgewater put that ball in the bucket of McCaffrey. They coming up. You sit back and wait on McCaffrey if you want to.
Shit.
Okay, yeah. Look, you.
Okie dokie.
Okay. Sit back in that zone if you want to. All right, cool.
Oh my God.
Like I say, you can pick your poison how you want it.
Woo.
But definitely, so that's where I see it as the where we can get at them at a little bit here. Also on defense, they got a lot of players coming back as well. Safety John Abrams, who's like a old school thumper, strong safety, just crush everybody. He's coming back from a shoulder injury. So I'll let Will talk about the linebackers and defenders, secondary defenders of the Raiders. But yeah, let's line up and punch them in the mouth and run it up the middle. That's where I see our advantage at in this game.
And Will, where do you see our advantages, and can we take advantage of that Vegas defense?
Yeah, we talked about our young secondary. I think they're in the same position. Rookie Damon Arnett from Ohio State won a starting job, so they're going to be starting a rookie corner. He has a broken thumb, so he's going to be playing in a cast during that game. So he's not going to be able to press effectively. So that should give DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson or whoever he's lined up with on that outside some advantages there. Get some free releases, be able to make some plays there. They got another young corner, Trayvon Mullins, who's in his second year. So I think their corners are, I won't say they're the weak link because I think they were both talented prospects coming out of college, but they're young and inexperienced. So we might be able to take some advantage of them there. They got picked up a very good free agent, Corey Littleton, who used to play for the Rams. If you remember him from week 1 last year, he tore us apart, had one outstanding game against the Panthers.
Sure did.
And I think he also had a very good Super Bowl against the Patriots. Yep. He's a very athletic outside linebacker, can rush the passers, solid in coverage, pretty athletic as well. So, that's another strength I see on their defense. I think with Crosby and Cleveland Farrell, they're both stout against the run. So maybe, we punch them up in the middle, soften them up in the middle as well. Cleveland struggled a bit as a pass rusher his rookie year. We'll see how he's evolved there. So that matchup with Okung will be interesting. But they got talent. They got a lot of young, talented pieces just like we do. I just think it's going to come down to who makes less mistakes, who's not going to turn the ball over, who's going to make the plays when they count. So we'll see how it comes down. I can see this game going into the fourth quarter real close. It's going to come down who makes the plays, who makes the better adjustments at the end.
Facts. Straight truth right there, folks. Do not, I repeat, do not ever underestimate your opponent. You will be sorely mistaken for doing so. This is the NFL. We're going on the road. Might as well call it a West Coast trip. First game of the season. During all this other craziness. Do not underestimate your opponent. We got some players now. We got some weapons on both on offense and defense. But folks, this is the NFL. All right, just make sure you tune in and watch the game and support these Carolina Panthers. By God, that's what you need to do. Time and station. Anybody?
We're on CBS at 1 p.m. East Coast time.
Word. It's an early game out there then. Interesting.
Definitely. And another thing, Tim, this is going to be coming here and playing in Carolina, even though the fans will be, there's going to be a lot of homecomings for several players. You got several Clemson players that's on this team. Farrell, Mullen, Renfro, Tanner Muse, guard John Simpson. Is going to be here. And also from ECU, someone that a lot of Panther fans want us to draft a couple of years ago, Zay Jones. He's now on the Raiders team as well as a wide receiver. I think he's ECU's all-time leading receiver, if I'm not mistaken. Here as well. So they just got so it's gonna be a lot of players on the Raiders team that's gonna get some snaps that played locally. They got a backup linebacker that went to Greenville College named Nicholas Morrow. Their punter AJ Cole went to North Carolina State. Their offensive tackle Brandon Parker went to North Carolina A&T. So yeah, they got about 10, 11 players that's coming back to play back in front of the home team, home folks. Well, would have been in front of home folks, but be back in familiar territory. So yeah, they they gonna have that extra energy because they know they only come here once every 4 years. So just be something on the lookout.
So this is a Panthers home game.
Yeah, it's a Panthers home game.
Gotcha. My bad. All right, man. So, God, folks, I don't know about y'all, but I'm super excited about this. I am. I'm so excited. I didn't know if it was a home game or not. I just know there's football on. That's all I know. I was just let's go. Let's get it going. Let's do it. Well, all right, folks. I believe we have wrapped up everything we needed to speak on at this juncture. There's nothing else left to do but get ready for that football game, folks. Yeah. Let's go. Any parting shots, gentlemen?
Yeah, the season's here now, so I don't want to see your mock drafts. I don't want to hear none of that. I'm not trying to hear none of that. I don't want to hear pessimism about last year. I don't care how they treated so-and-so. I don't care about your favorite players and what jerseys you own and how nobody in your. I don't want to hear none of that, man. I'm in football mode right now, so bring that around me. I ain't talking about that. Focusing on the Las Vegas Raiders right now. Get your wings cooked up. Get your hot wings, your pizza, your chips and dip, whatever. Get your grill lit up, burgers, whatever you want to do this weekend. It's football season now, man. Let's put all that behind us and let's get ready for some action.
Word. Speak on it. Let's go. Kev, you have any parting shots? Go ahead.
Yeah, and I just want to let our fans know to keep following the 4-Man Rush. Our content is starting to pick back up. Catch us on the 4-Man Rush website. We got some new blog writers you folks got to check out. Jadarius McCrary and also Vince Holmes. They started dropping their content and their insights. So make sure you check them out. Check them out there as well. So, we're going to have the Monty hot takes. Monty going to make his cameo appearance. Oh, Monty, we're looking forward to him getting back in the fold. What I'm saying, with his ball ass head. But
OG Money Ball.
Yeah, and just make sure you keep following us on Twitter. The man behind the 4-Man Rush Twitter account is our very own Will Harris, and
man.
Folks, this man is he's putting in work. So just make sure you catch us on all our social media platforms that's available. There's no reason why the 4-Man Rush is not easy accessible to you in some form. So just continue to support us. We won't let you down. We're not gonna bring you no fluff or no bullshit, but we're gonna give it to you. We're gonna give it to you straight, no chaser.
100.
Yeah, shout out to the Panthers official account for the follow too.
Whoa, that's right, folks. That's how strong that Twitter game is. Believe that. Teddy Bridgewater. We got Panther players following us on Twitter. Now we got the official following us on Twitter. Bruh, the 4-Man Rush is taking over. I'm just saying. And if you don't know, now you know. You know very well who we are. Yes, sir. It's Panther season, folks. COVID couldn't stop us. That's how it is. No doubt. All right, man. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for checking out the 4-Man Rush podcast. And if you're checking us out on YouTube, we really, really appreciate you. And if you're listening to us on one of those many podcast platforms, we appreciate you. And be sure to, like Kevin said, man, check out the website. Wonderful write-ups. All of our writers and content creators and everything. These guys have collegiate experience at the football level. I mean, from a football sense, they have collegiate experience, folks. They know their stuff, and it shows. Because we have some highly credible individuals and entities following our social media platforms. So you guys are in terms of you kind folks, the fans following us. You guys are in for a treat. That's for darn sure. All right, so again, thank you so much. Appreciate you guys, and we hope you guys are taking care of yourselves and staying safe and staying well, and I'm going to enjoy this game coming up. Boy, I can't believe it, man. It's time, man. But I was really worried about this season, man. I was like, man, we didn't got no football. Man, I'm telling you, I'm gonna run around the neighborhood and start hitting joggers. Don't let me catch you. All right, Panther fans. Appreciate you guys. Check us out on www.the4manrush.com and all our social media platforms, all of the good stuff. And we'll check you out. On behalf of Kevin, Will, and myself, and the rest of the 4-Man Rush crew, thank you. And as always, keep pounding. And that's a clear.
That was fun.
Yes, sir. Yes, it was, man.
Shit, we have a game to talk about.
Ooh, boy, next week's really going to be fun. We're really going to be talking about some shit.
Yes, sir.
Oh, man.
I'm sitting up here watching this Laker block party, man, while we was doing our wrap-ups. They just blocked like 4 of Houston's shots, man. Like LeBron just threw James Harden shit, like.
I'm just taking time to really let it breathe. So baby, just chill. Yeah. She love it. We out in public and we can just chill with my partners, and we can go back to my crib and just chill under covers and do we call me and you lovers.
The 4-Man Rush is brought to you by the love and respect of and for the Carolina Panthers and Carolina Panther fans everywhere. Keep pounding. The 4-Man Rush is a non-affiliate of the Carolina Panther organization. All thoughts, assessments, and content of this podcast is directly related to the 4-Man Rush exclusively. Thank you.